In today's video, I'm going to show you how to access and use the watch lists that are built into the Thinkorswim platform, and also how to make your own watch list if you want to customize and create your own list of stocks or symbols. By default, they may have a watch list already built in when you open up your program. If you want to access all of the built-in watch lists, you just come up here where one of the watch lists are located and click on it. And if you just scroll down here where it says Personal, and come over here, these would be the watch lists that are already built and saved that have been created by me. If I scroll down and look at the public watch lists, down here you'll find things like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. They have it under 3 tabs here where you can access all of the public ones, and you can find the NASDAQ 100 under the 2nd tab. And if you come down to the 3rd tab, you'll find that S&P 500 is there, S&P 100. And take note that if you actually select one of these watch lists, what it's going to do is it's going to select the one that you pick. Let's say I pick S&P 100, which I'll do in a second, but it's actually going to allow all of these watch lists that are in this list to then become part of your list so that you can scroll through them. So let me show you how that works. If I click on this, it's giving me the S&P 100. This would be 100 S&P 100 symbols that are listed there, and you can drag and open this a little further or more or less if you choose to. Now if I come up over here where it has this up and down arrow, what it's actually going to do, it's going to scroll through all of those. Let's say there were 10 different lists that were on that public section that I chose, and then eventually you get back to S&P 100 again. There are so many built in, and they even break them down by industry. You can have it by top 10, where you find out what's the top 10% gainers on the NASDAQ, what's the top 10% losers on the NASDAQ if you wanted to see those. And you can actually bring this up and just scroll through all of the different lists of the top 10 on the day, which would change each day for you. Or you could come down by industry. Click on this, come down by industry, and let's say you wanted the energy sector, and you wanted equipment and services, and let's say you come up to oil and gas equipment and services. So when I click on this, it's going to bring up just 2 watch lists. It's going to allow me to now scroll through however many are in this last menu that I open up. If I come over to oil, gas, and consumable fuels, notice that there's 5 of them in here. So if I actually click on one of these, then as I scroll through the list, I will go through all 5 of them before I come back to the first one that I picked. So all these lists are great, and you can easily get back to your personal watch list by just coming over here and picking, from your personal list. Now, what if you wanted to add something to your personal list, or make a list of stocks or your favorite symbols that you want to follow or track? In order to do that, you come down to this area right here where it says Create Watch List. If you're creating a watch list now, you can then add symbols. First, you'll name your watch list, and let's say you want to call it My Watch List. And let's say I want to add some symbols. So let's say I want to add Apple, and I want to add Amazon, and I want to add Caterpillar. Now this could take you a little time to add the ones that you want, but you can come up here and do it. Let's say I want to put Google. You can then do this and hit save, and now this watch list that I've just created has become part of my personal watch list. So notice that it's called My Watch List, and if I come over to Personal now and scroll across, notice that My Watch List is now in this list of the different watch lists that I created. So let's say I wanted to create another one. I would come down here to Create Watch List, name the watch list My Watch List 2, and I'm going to add symbols. Now this time, what if I wanted to create the watch list from a list of my favorite stocks that I have somewhere else? What if I was to take over here, what if I had a list of them in Excel, and I had it saved, a list of the symbols that I'd like to use the most? Or what if I was able to copy and paste them from another platform or from an online service in some fashion? I would just come over here and highlight the symbols, right click and click copy. Now let me get this out of the way. And then you come over here to import and click on import. And here you can load it from a file. If you have a file, you can select a file on your computer, or you can just paste the symbols from the clipboard. So here it's showing me that it found 35 symbols. That was what was in my list that I was copying. And now I just hit OK. And when I hit save, then it's going to take the list of 35 that I had in the Excel file, and now it has become my watch list number 2. And notice if I click on this and come over to personal, that now I have my watch list and I have my watch list 2. I can select these by just clicking on them. I can click here, go down to personal, and click on the watch list that I want. Or I can just come up here and use the up and down arrow and scroll through all the watch lists that I have already saved in my tab. Now, what if you wanted to just save a particular watch list that is already built? Like, what if you wanted to take the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Dow 30, and you wanted to add it to your personal watch list? And there's not really a way to do it directly from here and just make that move to your personal watch list. Like, it'd be great if you could take it here and just drag it over to your personal watch list, but that doesn't work. However, what I found is if you go over to scans and close all of this extra stuff that we have set up, and I'm just going to clear all these filters, and I'm actually going to look for on here a scan of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I'm just going to hit scan. And what it's doing is I'm asking it to scan all the Dow Jones Industrial Average stocks, and what it did is it just scanned for them and it found the 30 of them. And now after a scan, they give you over here in this menu over here on the right under the scan button, they give you a way to save it as a watch list. So I click save, and then I can just type in Dow 30, and when I hit save, this will now add this to my personal watch list. And I can do this with the Dow 30, I can do it with the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 100, whichever one of those lists that you want, you can narrow down using the scan function and then just save it and move it over to your watch list. So now if I click on this and I come over to my personal watch lists, notice that the Dow 30 is right up here. I can click on that, and now the Dow 30 is part of my list. And if I wanted to add the NASDAQ, I would come up here again and click on NASDAQ 100. And on this, I'm just going to clear this filter for now and do a scan. Now it's bringing up the NASDAQ 100. And if I come over here and hit save as watch list, I can come over here and type NASDAQ 100 and hit save. And now if I come over here and select my personal watch lists, notice that I have the NASDAQ 100. I still have my watch list 2 and my watch list and the Dow 30. And then what you do is just make sure you hit save your workspace. If you have a workspace saved, make sure you save it so that any of the work that you've done has been saved. And then every time you open your platform, in your watch list, you can either scroll through them or you can just click on them and get to your personal watch list. And keep in mind, you could always go to the pre-built ones at any time. And when you need to get back to your personal watch list, you just come up to personal and select one of them, and then you'll be able to scroll through your personal watch list again. So hopefully this helps. I've had a lot of questions about people having trouble making their own watch list, and I wanted to just give you a little overview of how you can use the platform and customize the lists and use some of the powerful ones that are already built to your advantage. I hope this video helped you, and have a great day.